that is starting to come out. One being that this play right here that's involving Breanna Stewart and a referee and Sophie Cunningham. Now, this was very, very interesting to me that this play went unnoticed. Now, in this play, mind you, this isn't footage that
nobody expected it to go this far. Not from one moment, not from one play, and definitely not from something that initially looked like another physical sequence in a high-level game. When the New York Liberty faced the Indiana Fever, the focus was supposed to be on competition, execution, and strategy. Instead, everything changed. It began with a single play involving Breanna Stewart and Sophie Cunningham. At first, it seemed normal, physical contact, tight defense, the type of intensity expected at this level. But then came the reaction, and that changed everything because the way players responded and the way the energy shifted did not feel normal. It felt like something bigger had happened. The game paused briefly. Teammates stepped in, players looked around, and the tension became obvious, not loud but real. Then the moment moved beyond the court. Clips spread online, different angles replayed, and fans zoomed in trying to understand what really happened. Within minutes, it went viral. The conversation changed because it was no longer about the game, but about the moment and what it meant. The bigger picture quickly followed because when moments like this gain attention, questions come from everywhere, not just from fans. In a league like this, every moment matters. Back on the court, while the noise grew outside, the game continued, but it no longer felt the same. Everything became sharper, faster, and more intense. In the middle of it all was Caitlin Clark, watching, reading, and responding not with words, but with control. The tempo shifted. The Fever started pushing harder, spacing improved, decisions became quicker, and momentum began changing. The Liberty tried to slow things down and regain control, but it did not last because once a game changes like this, it is difficult to stop it. Then Clark again, ball in hand, ice forward.
Need to protect our enforcer Sophie Cunningham at all costs. This cheap elbow shot by 30 on the New York Liberty team, Breanna Stewart, was not acceptable. Where were the referees? And it looked like the referee did catch this, man. Then it said another slow-mo of the cheap shot by Breanna Stewart. Thank you. So this is the full play here. So this is a slow motion version of it. So as you guys can see here, just look at this. Boom, bro. Boom. Just completely look at Breanna Stewart's face. And this is who we got in charge of negotiating the CBAs. Look at this. Like, how do something like this happens always to the Indiana Fever, bruh? All the time. And Sophie Cunningham did a double drag hard. Like, I don't know what they mean by that, but this right here, both feet clearly outside arc, driving towards the basket, left foot inside arc, screen set inside arc, contact made well outside the arc, all in 1 second of a video. Look, y'all see this? Boom. Feet outside the arc. Boom. Feet not even planted. Boom. It's just crazy to me. Somebody said, thanks for this. That New York player was clearly hurt. Clearly out to hurt Sophie. That's Breanna Stewart. Didn't Sophie do the same thing in this game? Now, where was the referee? The ref called an illegal screen. What more do you want? I think people wanted that to be like a flagrant foul. So the referee did call it. Somebody said moving screens are not called too frequently in the modern day game. This referee called this. The physical nature of the screen is irrefutable. The screen is the only equalizer for the defender. A team has to call out the screen and protect the defender. This is just bad team defense calling out the screen. No, bro. She assaulted Sophie Cunningham.
Every decision she made added pressure because this was not random. It was intentional. And it was not just about scoring. It was about response because moments like that stay in players' minds. And what we were seeing now was the answer. The Liberty could feel it because they were no longer leading. They were reacting. And reacting creates pressure. Pressure leads to mistakes. Mistakes create openings, and openings decide games. The crowd could sense it too because this was no longer simple momentum, it was a takeover. The gap started growing, not massive at first, but enough because control had shifted. Looking beyond the court, while all of this was happening, the conversation continued growing online because when a moment goes viral like that, it raises questions about decisions, reactions, and what comes next. That is where the real tension started building because now it was no longer about one game, it was about everything that followed. In the final stretch, every possession mattered, but the direction already felt clear because once a team finds rhythm like this, it does not disappear easily. The final plays were clean, the decisions were smart, and Caitlin Clark was still controlling everything.
Shout out to them for sharing this. I think it was JJ. I don't know if they have a YouTube channel, but what's this here? Oh, that's old footage there. Kind of got to be careful going on these people's X account, man. You never know what you might see. Yeah, look at this. Are you okay, Sophie? This New York Liberty player, Breanna Stewart, should be expelled and fined immediately. We need to protect Sophie. Yeah, man. This whole situation, and me personally, I feel like this is going to be a continuing situation. It's good to know and good to see that this referee actually got it right, because there was a lot of times that the referees just don't get it right. They just don't get it right at all. And so for them to get it right this time is remarkable, you know, but I'm happy with that. Now, this is the play they talking about right here. So this was Sophie here. But watch how this girl is hacking Caitlin Clark. Watch this. Caitlin Clark is getting hacked. Watch. Watch. Look at her. Hacking Caitlin Clark all over. Now watch Sophie. Boom. Now, when Sophie did it, Sophie didn't look like she leaned into her, bro. Let me see. Nope. I don't think she did. I don't think. Oh, and old girl flopped. Look at this damn flop. She threw her arms up and everything. Now, if we go back and look at what happened to Sophie, like people want to say Sophie did the same thing. Look at Sophie. Sophie ain't flopped. She immediately, Breanna Stewart, a big gal. Look. She ain't throw her hands up. See, there's a big difference. Watch.
And just like that, it was over. The Fever won. But that was not what people would remember because the real story had started earlier with that one moment. Then came the aftermath. Fans continued debating, clips kept trending, and everyone was asking the same question. What does this mean going forward? Looking at the bigger picture, moments like this change narratives instantly, not gradually. From now on, every game will be viewed differently, every interaction will be analyzed, and every moment will carry more weight. That is where the pressure grows because when attention reaches this level, everything feels larger. In the end, this was not just a game, it was a shift, a moment that became something much bigger. So now the real question remains, was that simply one intense play, or the moment that changed everything moving forward?
The Fever fans will not let any stone go without being revealed and turned over, dog. We could all say that as Indiana Fever fans. Now, we know that the New York Liberty hosted the Indiana Fever this past weekend. And there was a lot of things that happened in this game. And ultimately, the Indiana Fever left New York City feeling like they robbed them of the Statue of Liberty, bro. They beat them so bad. It was horrendous. Belt to ass type whooping, bro. Now, throughout this game, there was a lot of stuff that was not captured, or I shouldn't say captured. I should say people didn't see it until after the game. Now, we reported on one of the incidents yesterday, and that was Caitlin Clark and Raven Johnson exchange. Raven Johnson was a standout player in his first preseason game that had countless of interactions on the bench, and that kind of went unnoticed. That stuff didn't start coming out until the day after. Now, I'm here to tell you something else that didn't come out is a play that I'm about to show y'all, and it looked like there's an agenda once again, and we should already see this coming, man. The WNBA referees is going to try to do everything in their power to make sure the Fever, for whatever reason, does not become the face of this league, and at the end of the day, they're the modern day Lakers, and can't nobody stop them because the fans are behind them. Now, with that being said, there's countless plays and stuff that is starting to come out. One being that this play right here that's involving Breanna Stewart and a referee